They're not announcing it on the evening news, but America's corporate giants are teetering on the edge of financial collapse. Stock crashes, debt spirals, bankruptcy filings, and emergency cash burns. While everyone's distracted by political theater, the backbone of American business is quietly crumbling from within. From tech darlings to retail empires, from automotive legends to entertainment giants, no sector is safe from the economic tsunami building beneath the surface. We're pulling back the curtain on 30 major corporations that could be the first dominoes to fall when recession hits. And trust us, by the end of this, you'll question everything you thought you knew about American business stability. So buckle up, because what we're about to show you isn't just corporate drama. It's an economic earthquake in slow motion. Number 1. Tesla. Electric vehicle market saturation meets economic reality as deliveries slump 20% while tariff hikes jack battery costs 25% higher. $30 billion debt pile triggers default risks if consumer auto spending tanks further during recession, while sky-high valuation over 100 PE ratio creates bubble conditions. Cybertruck recalls compound quality concerns, while factory shutdown rumors in Texas signal operational problems. Government subsidy cuts would eliminate EV incentives, while internal layoffs suggest even Tesla employees recognize the dangerous position. Number 2. Boeing. Aviation manufacturing collapse accelerates as airlines cancel orders during travel downturns and safety scandals destroy confidence. $40 billion in accumulated losses from production delays and safety issues make Boeing extremely vulnerable to recession-driven airline bankruptcies. Debt exceeding $50 billion forces restructuring considerations, while tariff impacts on global supply chains halt production recovery efforts. FAA investigation pressures and CEO resignation rumors signal internal crisis, while government bailout discussions suggest even Boeing recognizes bankruptcy risks during prolonged economic downturn. Number 3. General Motors. Automotive sales collapse when consumers delay major purchases indefinitely. EV transition cash drains combine with $120 billion debt to create unsustainable financial pressure. Tariffs threaten truck profits, while demand reduces sales volumes 15 to 20%. Legacy pension obligations and union strikes position GM for early collapse, while executive bonus cuts suggest internal panic. Number 4. Ford. Auto industry destruction accelerates as high interest rates make car loans unaffordable. EV losses exceed $5 billion annually, while profits forecasted to halve. $100 billion plus debt load becomes unsustainable if consumer credit tightens. Plant closure rumors in Michigan add worker unrest, while stock declined 25% year-to-date. Number 5. Apple. Premium device sales collapse when consumers prioritize necessities over gadgets during economic stress. iPhone sales down 15% year-to-date from tariff disruptions and Chinese competition, while potential 20% additional decline looms during recession. $100 billion plus debt payments become problematic when global shipments crash and inventory piles up, force margin-crushing discounts. App Store revenue growth stalled at 5%, while antitrust breakup costs mount. Number 6. Intel. Semiconductor struggles intensify with 20,000 plus layoffs despite $2.2 billion CHIPS Act funding. PC and server demand crashes 30%, while security flaws tank stock 40% year-to-date. $50 billion plus debt becomes unmanageable with higher rates, while competitors steal market share. Foundry spin-off rumors suggest desperate Chapter 11 avoidance attempts. Number 7. NVIDIA. AI hype crashes into economic reality as enterprise spending budgets get slashed by billions during downturns. Despite artificial intelligence enthusiasm, 30% stock plunge exposed dangerous dependence on volatile tech spending, while chip demand forecasted to drop 25%. High inventory levels and Asian manufacturing tariffs threaten $100 billion market cap losses, while data center investment slowdowns would trigger massive layoffs. Number 8. Carnival cruises. Vacation spending disappears fastest during recessions, making cruise vacations unaffordable luxuries. Bookings down 25% post-tariffs, while $30 billion pandemic debt becomes crushing when fuel costs spike amid global volatility. Occupancy rates dipping below 80% signal fundamental demand problems, while route cancellations and ship sales reduce operational capacity. Health scares and boycotts in economic downturns speed up customer flight. Number 9. Delta Airlines. Business travel destruction combines with fuel volatility to crush airline profitability during economic downturns. $25 billion debt becomes unmanageable as corporate travel budgets get slashed 20 to 25%, while tariff-induced ticket price hikes reduce demand. Labor disputes and route cuts compound problems from recent outages that cost $500 million in recovery expenses. Load factors declining steadily year-to-date, while merger talks suggest survival requires consolidation. Number 10. Hertz. Car rental demand tanks in economic slumps when business travel disappears and vacation spending stops. EV fleet missteps led to $1 billion plus write-downs, while utilization rates below 70% make operations uneconomical. $20 billion debt becomes crushing with higher interest rates, while corporate travel cuts deepen. Fire sale rumors of Tesla holdings suggest desperate cash preservation measures. Number 11. Carvana. Used car market volatility crashes hardest during recessions when auto loans become unaffordable. Repossessions rising 20% year-to-date signal consumer distress, while demand falls sharply as buyers delay purchases. $6 billion debt from expansion binges becomes toxic amid credit tightening that makes Carvana's lending model impossible. Loan delinquency data hits multi-year highs, while regulatory scrutiny over questionable lending practices adds legal costs. Number 12. WeWork. The shared office space that promised to revolutionize work is about to become a monument to corporate delusion. Even post-bankruptcy, WeWork clings to $10 billion plus in lease liabilities, while remote work permanently reshapes business culture. Office occupancy below 60% and tech layoffs emptying buildings nationwide spell disaster. When recession forces more companies to embrace remote work permanently, WeWork's entire business model completely evaporates. Number 13. AMC Entertainment. Movie theaters become obsolete when streaming dominance combines with recession-induced entertainment cuts. Attendance down 15% year-to-date, while $5 billion debt load becomes unserviceable as box office receipts fall 25%. Pandemic scars left AMC Entertainment fragile to any demand drop, while tariff hikes on concessions inflate operational costs. Theater conversions to warehouses are rumored as landlords seek any revenue source. Number 14. Rivian. Electric vehicle startup burns cash faster than it produces trucks, while missing delivery targets by 30% amid consumer resistance to high-priced EVs. Debt deals and manufacturing problems compound as tariffs inflate component costs 20%, while Amazon pulls back fleet commitments during its own cost-cutting. Stock down 50% year-to-date with no profitability timeline, while emergency funding rounds are sharp to venture firms. Number 15. Macy's. Traditional retail death accelerates as store closures compound online shopping shifts and inflation-pinched consumer behavior. Plans for 100-plus additional location closures signal recognition that physical retail is dying faster than anticipated. $5 billion debt and inventory gluts force fire sales that erode profit margins, while Amazon competition makes department stores obsolete. Same-store sales dropped 5% in Q1. Number 16. Rite Aid. Pharmacy retail destruction accelerates as opioid settlements drain over $500 million in cash while consumers skip non-essential purchases. Over 1,000 stores shuttered year-to-date as $3 billion in debt becomes unserviceable in economic downturns. Competition from Walmart and Amazon pharmacy services makes standalone drugstores obsolete. Asset auctions to pay creditor liens are already in planning stages. Number 17. Victoria's Secret. Brand erosion meets retail apocalypse as cultural shifts makes Victoria's Secret irrelevant. Sales tank 20% while tariffs inflate lingerie costs 10 to 15% during consumer belt-tightening. $2 billion debt obligations from corporate spin-offs become unmanageable when discretionary fashion spending disappears. Stock plunged 35% year-to-date as investors flee outdated retail concepts. Number 18. Spirit Airlines. Budget air travel becomes luxury spending when recession hits and vacations get canceled. Fuel costs soaring 20%, combined with $3 billion in debt from failed mergers, positions Spirit Airlines for immediate bankruptcy. The blocked JetBlue acquisition left Spirit without escape routes, while operational meltdowns destroy customer confidence. Load factors dipped to 75% in Q2. That's a devastating metric for budget carriers. Number 19. Peloton. Fitness fads fade fastest when subscription services become unaffordable luxuries. Subscriptions to Peloton dropping 30% year-to-date expose a business model dependent on discretionary spending that recessions eliminate. $2 billion in debt and inventory issues trigger defaults amid $500 million in annual losses, while competition from cheaper alternatives accelerates Peloton's decline. Churn rate spiked to 8%. Number 20. Unity Software. The gaming engine powering half the mobile games you've ever played is running out of fuel. Stock down 60% year-to-date. $2 billion in losses mounting, and developer budgets getting slashed as venture capital dries up. When recession hits and every startup gaming studio shuts down, who needs Unity's expensive licensing? Nobody. Rumors of an Epic Games buyout suggest even Unity knows it can't survive alone. Number 21. AMC Networks. Cable television's slow death just hit fast forward. With cord-cutting accelerating and ad revenues plunging, AMC Networks is losing $1 billion annually on content that nobody's watching. Their $3 billion debt load becomes an anchor when streaming wars intensify and traditional TV dies completely. Walking Dead may have ended, but AMC's zombie-like existence continues shambling toward inevitable doom. Number 22. Red Lobster. Endless shrimp losses created endless financial bleeding that bankruptcy couldn't stop. Restaurant chains with over $1 billion in debt and lease obligations tipped first when consumers slashed dining budgets. Recent bankruptcy claimed 100-plus locations, while remaining operations struggle with inflation hitting seafood costs hardest. Full liquidation rumors persist as buyers fail to emerge. Number 23. GameStop. Meme stock volatility crashes hardest in risk-off environments when fundamentals matter and hype dies. Revenue dropped 50% year-to-date as physical gaming retail becomes completely obsolete. Digital game distribution eliminates any reason for GameStop stores to exist, while debt and lease obligations mount. Store closures accelerate as landlords prefer empty space over non-paying tenants. Number 24. Joann Fabrics. Craft retail gets crushed when hobbies become unaffordable luxuries. Recent filings reveal $1 billion debt cracks as consumers abandon non-essential creative projects during economic stress. Sales drop 20% as DIY culture shifts to necessity purchases rather than hobby spending. When people stop buying fabric for fun projects, fabric stores stop existing. Number 25. Beyond Meat. Plant-based hype died when inflation made fake meat more expensive than real meat. Sales down 25% as consumers choose affordable protein over expensive alternatives during economic stress. High production costs and debt loads crumble under tariff pressures on imported ingredients, while retailers delist products due to poor sales. Inventory write-offs hit $100 million last quarter. Number 26. Express. Fast fashion meets slow death as consumers abandon mall apparel during spending cuts. Bankruptcy rumors swirl around $300 million in debt obligations, while tariffs inflate clothing imports 15%. Mall traffic drops accelerate Express's demise as young consumers shift spending to experiences over clothes. When your target demographic has no disposable income, fashion becomes unaffordable. Number 27. Big Lots. Discount store struggles intensify when tariffs make cheap imports expensive, while consumers demand even lower prices. Bankruptcy rumors accelerate as over 400 locations face closure risk from unsustainable economics. Consumer shifts to essential purchases elsewhere, while inventory gluts create cash flow problems. When discount retailers can't maintain discount prices, their entire value proposition evaporates. Number 28. Bed Bath & Beyond. The home goods retailer that somehow survived bankruptcy is discovering that resurrection does not guarantee survival. Post-bankruptcy remnants struggle with demand drops as consumers delay home purchases during economic uncertainty. Tariffs hitting imports inflate costs 15%, while revenue continues quarterly losses exceeding $200 million. Fewer than 100 stores remain from the former retail empire of Bed Bath & Beyond. Number 29. 99 cents only. Discount retailers are discovering that inflation makes their entire concept impossible. Tariffs on cheap imported goods combined with margin squeezes have forced closure of 300-plus stores year-to-date. When your business model depends on selling items for exactly 99 cents, and those items now cost $1.50 to import, simple math destroys you. Cash flow has been negative for 6 straight quarters. And number 30. Snap Inc., the disappearing message app, is about to make its own vanishing act, with ad revenues forecasted to crater 25% in a downturn and $4 billion in debt weighing down a platform losing users fast. Snap is living on borrowed time. Daily active users drop 10% as TikTok steals teenagers and Meta crushes everything else. When brands slash marketing budgets in recession, who's cutting Snapchat ads first? Everyone. The reckoning. These 30 corporations are canaries in America's economic coal mine. From tech darlings to retail giants, from automotive legends to entertainment companies who produce things that nobody watches. The warning signs are everywhere. Massive debt loads become crushing burdens when revenue disappears. Business models disappear when consumers prioritize survival. When they collapse, the ripple effects hit everyone. The question isn't whether this will happen, it's how prepared you are.